Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Creative Emotions. Listen, you're going to get encouragement, motivation, information, and you're going to get these good vibes. So welcome to the show. Every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we in this thing. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to everyone who comes out and watches on Wednesday. And even when you don't get it live, because I know a lot of people be like, oh, I'm at work, I'm here, I'm there. It's all good. I just thank you so much for your support because support goes a long way. So I do want to acknowledge those people. This is a live show. So you can call in at 313-266-2811. And I am going to share this as well. Boom. That's what's up. Listen, tonight's show, it's not over. It's just the beginning. I just want to encourage you with that tonight. Let me share this video and boom, we on there. Make sure my volume down because I'm always doing that. Every day is a new day. It's a new slate to clean up things, to make life easier, to remove what no longer serves you, and to move forward into the things that make you feel fulfilled. I have a guest here today who takes every day and go hard for the freedom and knowledge of how powerful we truly are. Because once you know who you are, you know why you are here, it's a totally different mindset, and it's a totally different way that you move throughout this journey. And it's very pleasing once you start. It's not, everybody think when you just talk about positive, like, people say, oh, it ain't that easy. No, it's work. You're absolutely right. It is work. When someone says, they went to prison, we automatically think of scary stories and that prison will be a home or, a lifestyle with just negativity or negative thoughts. But my guest today turned that negative narrative around. Life is truly what you make it, turning a negative into a positive. So start over as many times as you need to. So my guest today is Mr. Khalil Muhammad. Give him a good one. I don't hear him in there. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. This is my buddy. So I know it originally, years ago, you were going to help me, I think, with my poetry at that time.
Right.
Because your buddy's always into something.
That's right.
You got all this stuff going on. It's a good thing, though. I love it. But, unfortunately, some things happen along your journey that kind of, stopped a little bit. But tell us about yourself and give us a brief of how much time you had in prison.
So my name is Khalil Muhammad, and the way that I describe myself is not by what I do. Mm-hmm. I see myself as a spiritual being, connected to all beings, right? But as far as what I do, I'm an entrepreneur. And recently, I just returned from prison from doing 2 years. Mm-hmm. I was originally looking at maybe about 12 years.
Wow.
And right at sentencing, the prosecutor who really... he was after me because he killed our religious leader. And I went on the media and exposed them. Mm-hmm. And so he retired just before they offered me a plea agreement. So once the new prosecutor came and looked into the case, mm-hmm. and he said, this guy's not a real criminal. So he dropped it down to 24 months. So I just finished 24 months.
Wow. And it don't matter if it was just, honey. We ain't gonna put no just in front of prison. Okay?
Yes.
Because nobody wanna go there or do that.
Yeah. And for the last maybe 8 years, I was facing, like I said, 12. Sometimes they would call me and offer 7. Just crazy. They would dismiss the case and then come back. So it's been a rough 8 years.
Okay.
But
just going back and forth
getting it dismissed, coming back. It was rough. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in that time, I think I met you. I opened the Colossal Poetry Lounge downtown Detroit.
Yeah.
So all of that time, I was actually struggling and fighting these people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still pushing through.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I commend you for that. Because nobody would have known.
Nobody.
You just kept moving.
Yeah. I don't think my mom, I told people, I posted it on Facebook just before because I had a lot of followers, a lot of supporters.
Yeah.
And I let them know, don't worry, I have to sit down for a minute and went and did what I had to do.
And you came back. That's what's up. And so that's another reason why I titled this, it's not over. It's just the beginning because, I feel like no matter, what you go through, every day you can get up and start again. Every day you can turn this thing around.
That's right.
Every day you can make a different choice.
That's right.
And so it's very important, that we exercise those rights.
Yeah.
To make those choices.
I remember going into the courtroom during these procedures and, I had to explain to the judge and to the prosecutor. I said, listen, I'm not reading that stuff for these people who turned me over because I'm focused on what I want to do with my future. And, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But for me, I'm going to design the way I want my outcome to be with it. So I couldn't, they would ask me questions about my case, and I couldn't even tell them. I never read it to this day.
Really?
Never read it.
Because you said I'm about to...
No, I'm going to focus on what I want to do. If you're going to kidnap me, then I'm just going to go for the ride. But I'm going to focus on what I want to do, who I want to be, and what I want to manifest.
And that outcome that you wanted. That's what's up.
That's right.
That's good. Have you ever been in confinement?
As far as prison?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So
how did that affect you?
No, that was rough. So when I entered the prison, I mind my own business. I told my secretary, send me some books, because I like to study neuroscience, how the body works, how the brain works. And so while I waited for my books, I was a little frustrated. And finally I got them. So I usually sit on my bunk and read. And within 2 weeks, they made me the leader of our group in the prison. And I said, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said, no. I'm for a short run. I don't want nothing to do with none of this, right?
You talk about nothing to do.
So for 2 years, now the prison guards, the establishment is looking at me because it's like, this guy is a leader of a group of people, which would have been the Detroit car in a Muslim car. That's what they would call it.
Okay.
So I taught meditation in that prison. And they didn't think the people would come out for the meditation. So it was a ton of people that came out. So I became a threat to them.
Oh, wow.
So eventually, when it was close to time for me to go home, they put me in solitary confinement for 30 days. Well, 28 days. 28 days.
I mean, I guess that's good when you are practicing that mindfulness and that meditation, but how did that affect you?
That's not good. That's not healthy. It's good for somebody like me because once I got in there, I'm claustrophobic,
God.
But I got in there and I knew all the training that I've been doing for 10 years or plus.
Okay.
So I just went into my training, calmed myself down, and began to relax. But you hear a lot of people screaming, people die in there.
Wow.
I was in there looking at people who will never sit at a table like this unless it's behind a prison wall.
Wow.
So that was really rough, and I knew that I'll be going home soon and these people would not be going home.
Yeah.
So that was really rough, It was, it's sad, but at the same time, practicing presence, right, will help you get through those kind of things.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was rough. They took me out of that, and when it was time for me to go home, the people that release you from prison, they didn't show up to work on time. But I knew that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So they locked me in a box the size of a casket. And you could barely put your hands in the air. You can barely put them in front of you. So even the people who did 20 years who was getting out right next to me, it affected them. So that kind of shook me up a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And but you know, again,
so you think that's mentally just to break you down?
Oh yeah. They didn't like me. I mean, I spoke once a week. I taught meditation. So I spoke on Fridays. I taught meditation. I connected the Christian leaders with the Muslim leaders. Even, you know, I don't care, gang, mental ill, all of that.
Yeah.
You know, I would bring them all together and talk to them. So that was a problem for them. And, you know, I wasn't, I wasn't, what's the word? I didn't listen to them very much. So.
Oh, you was bucking up against the system.
Bucking the system.
That actually led to my next question was, did you make those lasting changes while you were locked up? And it seems that, you know, you were, it sounds like the glue, even between religions, because I know from what we hear, because I haven't been there, don't ever want to go there, but, you know, in jail, in prison, religion is the main thing that people come out with normally. So you brought those people together to be able to communicate effectively?
Yes. I would bring them together. We would create groups in businesses as far as like things that have to do with prison reform. So the prison I was in, you had a lot of professionals like mayors, people who were the head of schools. What do you call them? Superintendents, all kind of professional people, lawyers, you name it, that was there. Scientists, a lot of doctors. So, you know, they made a mistake, you know. So we would put together things that we can carry out here in society to help people not go to prison if possible.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's real good. How, what was the first thing you thought about after leaving for those 2 years? What was the first thing you thought about?
Well, you know, you do music, so it was like getting ready to go on stage. It's time to perform. You know, for, like I said, a decade I had been studying neuroscience and laws of attraction. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me, to go to prison, because it was like going in a library and getting locked in. So I was able to touch up, go deeper into myself and make some adjustments. And like I said, this case was 8 years old. So I've been past that.
Right.
So I was able to work on myself. So when I got out, it was just like going on the stage. It's time to perform.
That's good. How did this, that's good, that's real good. How did this time change for you though? Like, do you think that things are totally different, you know?
Yes.
Did it, like that time pass, did you come out like things were totally different? Or do you see, you know, these were progressive changes that was happening like amongst us?
In the society.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to think, when I went to prison, you guys were locked down too, just like me. So I went to prison for the COVID.
Oh, it was around that time.
So, so I didn't know much about except what we saw on TV, and I didn't watch TV. So, so while you were locked down, I was locked down. So when I came out, 2 years, I mean, it should have been nothing, but it's major changes in the world, major.
Yeah. That was definitely a major shift. You know, for everybody. And I think if anything, this title, It's Not Over, it's just the beginning, can go for the fact that we were locked down for that time, had to relearn ourselves, even the people that we live with. People had to get to know their children. People had to get to know their spouses.
So
it was like, you know, I know this one guy, you know, he was at work so much, he had to be reintroduced to his children.
Wow.
That's how much he was not involved, or how much, you know, he did not know. So that time, it changed for everybody, literally.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody came out, and we came out a little bit better. I believe, you know, with looking out for each other more. It's not like that across the board, but you know, for the most part, I think people are showing a little bit more involvement, a little bit more love, being a little bit more involved with society.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yes. So the same thing. Yeah.
So what is your advice to anyone doing things that can land them in jail right now? Do you have talks with our peer, our younger generation?
Well, I'm going to tell you something that the head judge told me. She said that we all do something that can land us in prison. It's just like you're not getting caught for it. Yeah. We're all breaking this law some kind of way, right? So my thing is, don't be concerned about that. Be concerned about developing yourself at all times. You might have to go to prison standing up for something good, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
So you might have to go.
Yeah, people do.
Martin went, Malcolm went.
Right, a lot of changes came because of that.
From that. A lot of great people. Nelson Mandela went to prison. So prison is not the end of the world, right?
Yeah,
We were right next to a women's prison. It's a lot of women in prison, and people go to prison for things that, for good things, for standing up for things, to make changes. So
yeah.
My advice is don't worry about anything. So don't sit there and worry about not going to prison. Don't worry about nothing. Just work on developing yourself. That's what your focus should be.
That is the focus. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie. And that actually led to my next question is, did you believe that jail serves a good purpose? Because, anytime that we have to sit down, like we can go back to, for us, people that was not in the jail system, we were at home, but I feel like that time down served a great purpose.
Right. So, that's a deep question. So jail, I thought when I was inside, I said, it would be nice to have a kind of prison where you can turn yourself in, right, voluntarily, but
wow,
but
like,
not,
what, I'm tired, I need a break.
Yes, because what happened to me in prison is amazing. I mean, outside of having my child, outside of learning laws of attraction, outside of having a business and things like that, and finding God and different before prison. Yeah. Outside of that, prison was the best thing that ever happened to me. But for some people, it's not the case. So prison is not that bad, although I don't want to go back. But it's the what do you call it? The people who facilitate the prison, who are very evil people. Okay. The people who own the prison with a lot of agendas. Yeah. And actually, prison is almost set up just like these corporations, just like the school system. Yeah. It reminds you of prison, except that you're not locked down. So, hey, man, it's really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it is. What is your current mindset? Because I know you talk a lot about neuroscience and, the law of attraction, which is, another one of my questions. But what is your current mindset?
And I wouldn't say it was necessarily current. It's been the same. My mindset has pretty much been the same. And the beautiful thing is coming out of prison, the things that I worked on 10, 15 years before began to manifest itself. So my mindset has always been the same, and it's just developing self, helping people find out their true potentials. Mm-hmm. So that's what it's always been, and so that's what it is today.
That's good. That's real good. Loosen up.
I look stiff.
You do.
Well,
there you go.
I don't want to lean back in this chair.
There you go.
I wish the chair. I like to sit straight up.
Lean back.
I don't want to fall back. It's the chair.
You ain't gonna fall.
All right.
You know you can talk, okay?
Right.
I'm gonna need you to come here. Come in the room.
That's right.
Stop playing. How has your focus changed, Khalil?
It hasn't.
You don't think your focus has changed?
No.
You don't think that now you're more aware?
Well,
because our words shape our life, right?
Well,
so can you say now that you're more aware, or you're saying that you've always known the power of your words and used it consciously?
Yes. It's, remember when you used to come to Colossal Poetry Lounge, right across the street from there, I had a school called Tap University, and where I taught people these same things ever since then. So I think it just gave me a chance to really dig deep and study and try to memorize more stuff and learn new techniques. But the focus, that's why this was such a blessing for me. It was like, it reminds me of Joseph in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And he had to go through that, and it's different interpretations with, you know, Christian and Muslim, but it's really, really close. But when he came out, right, all of the things began to manifest for him, the things that he already saw. So his focus was there. So my focus was there, but I would say now things began to manifest tremendously.
Okay. A little bit faster now.
A lot faster.
Yeah. I've been on that though, man. Listen, I look forward to days where everything just fall in place. Like,
right.
Oh, I just go over here and it's like boom, and I go over here, it's like everything just rolling and flowing, and it's like, oh my God, this is how we supposed to live.
That's right. And it takes work, and the more you work on it, and it's just like a well.
Yeah.
It won't just happen. It didn't just happen because I came out of prison. I was reading a book, and I can't think of his name, but he was a journalist. And in this book in prison, my mom sent me, he taught that things just don't happen today, right? Okay. This stuff been happening. Some of the things we inherited from our family, and we begin to live out that.
Take it on.
Right.
Speak it
and everything. Things been happening, right?
That's true.
It's just now it just began to manifest, but you have to start, right? If it's something that you want to manifest, you have to start and wait until it begins to manifest. So you got to start before time, right? It's not just going to happen tomorrow.
Right. I think that's kind of what's leading now. Like, oh, just say what you want and you can manifest this, and you can, it's going to pop up, and like you could just get all of these things just popping up in your life.
Right.
You know, I do think it is a process, because you have to be able to keep what it is you're asking for, keep what it is that you're praying for. So that process is, I feel like, what helps the awareness, what helps the mindfulness to be like, okay, I see why this happened. So my journey, I'm telling you, like, it's such a beautiful journey that I can share with people, but I don't expect everybody to feel or see the excitement that I have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can tell people about it and they be like, oh, for real? Like, dang. But I feel like the most encouragement that we can give people, because I know it's a lot of motivational speakers, it's a lot of people that's, you know, motivating across the scene right now. But I feel like the most motivation that we can give people is encouraging them to find out who they are.
Right.
Once you find out who you are,
you're gone. You're taking off.
It's gone.
You know what I love? What I love is that you learn the knowledge. Like you said, it just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
The reason why I like studying neuroscience, and I would always advise people and anyone listening to this, and you, and whatever issue that you have about yourself, you can go on your lovely phone and ask Google, say, what does a scientist say about this? What does a neuroscientist say about that? Those
which
who
is the study of the brain.
Right.
Okay.
And once you'll be like, wow, say you're feeling a certain kind of way. Say, what does a neuroscientist say about me feeling this way? Or, you know, and then you'll learn. What happens is that these things, whatever it is, say you're saying things that you want to manifest, you keep saying them, and when they're wrapped with an emotion in which takes time, right?
Yeah.
Now it's being installed into the brain, and then in the future it becomes out in your behavior.
Yeah.
The physiology affects psychology. So once you put these things in your mind, you begin to feel them in your body. It takes time. Once they download, it downloads into your subconscious, and say, hey, this is real. And now you begin to manifest it. A lot of people, they want to say these things and manifest them with their mouth, right? But and I call the mouth the conscious brain.
Yeah, that's true.
But it has to be, again, downloaded into the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And now the subconscious mind is going to pull you like a tow truck. It's going to pull like a train.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I can definitely attest to that. And so I feel like when everyone gets a hold or grip on this, that's when life really starts.
Yeah.
And even when you don't get it, or you fail, or you go through these multiple emotions, it's still let me get up, let me get my mind, let me get myself together and start again.
Right.
I feel like we give up on ourselves too much, you know, when things don't work out or when they don't work out right then and there. I know that I have, because I see things in the spirit, right? I see things, but then I expect them to be right then and there.
Right.
Because I didn't know about the process. I didn't know about, you know, the time that I needed to gain more skills to get what I seen, or, you know, take more time to get what I seen. I didn't realize that. So how do you feel about the law of attraction? Again, this is one of those things that is running rapid fire, right? It's already been. It's been for a long time.
Oh my God.
This is not new.
Our beautiful white family, they've been studying this for a long time.
Exactly.
Long time.
Exactly. This has been, we just coming up on it like stocks.
Right. I want to say something before I go into that. In my opinion, it's not just starting over again. You have to respect the process. Everything that you've been through, right, helped you to get where you're going.
Absolutely.
So you have to respect them.
Absolutely.
Because it was part of the process. And if you didn't, you know, you would continue to make those mistakes if you didn't learn from them. So you've been started.
That's true.
You've been started. So you want to respect that.
Definitely learn.
But how I feel about law of attraction that's becoming very popular right now, and I want to say it's becoming popular right now because science is catching up with it. Science is beginning to prove it. It used to reject it. So now it's, you know, science is catching up with it because we have...
oh, wait, this is the thing.
This is the thing. We have better technology now.
Yeah.
So now people are able to look into the Quran or look into the Bible and say, wait a minute, this is what these things were teaching us this all along, but sometimes it was mistranslated, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't get it, but now we're beginning to get it. So that's why it's becoming popular. But I love laws of attraction and, again, how the brain works.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we mirror what we see. And whatever we do repeatedly, right? It begins to download in our brain, download in our cells, right? We begin to vibrate it. And then when we begin to vibrate it, we begin to see it. Definitely. It becomes into our reality. So I was seeing this in my life since I was a child, literally. And that's why I say this journey didn't just begin. And once I began to see it, I remember when maybe 10 years ago, I had lost all my money. I lived in Redford, and I began to study. I didn't have anything else to do. I didn't even have a car. So I began to study how the brain works, right? How the universe actually works. So this is when I came really into laws of attraction. And
you said 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago. And I'm telling you, I sat down for almost a whole year studying. No food, no transportation, nothing. I got family. I could have went to my family, but I'm not the kind of person that, you know, comes with my hand out. I believe in doing for self. And it wasn't, some people say I was prideful, but I don't think prideful either. I just, you know, I knew that I could come out of this, right? So once I learned about laws of attraction, I'm talking about, it was like graduating from college.
Like
soon as I learned, I knew that I would be getting an automobile. I knew that I would be getting my business back together.
Yeah.
I jumped in a car with a cab driver, and he drove to his house, a strange cab driver. And at his house, he had a ton of vehicles. And he said, take one. And I didn't know that man as much as I know our guest right here.
Wow.
And gave me a vehicle, but I knew it within myself.
You knew it was going to happen.
During this journey of staying home, studying, and learning about laws of attraction, learning how the brain works, learning how the universe works.
Yeah.
So I knew it right then. I was like, oh man, this is real.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And I encourage everybody, tap into it. Don't doubt it. You know, don't doubt it until you try it. You know, tap into that stillness and that quiet that's needed. You know, tapping into your spirituality, your Holy Spirit that's with you all the time. Your right and wrong is with you all the time. I want to give a shout out to our guests that are watching. Thank you guys so much. I see you, Fred. I see you, T.O. Audio. He said manifestation. Diligence, persistence, and consistency are all ingredients to manifesting and achieving your goals.
That's right.
So, did we just have a caller? They hung up. So you guys can call in 313-266-2811. This is a live show, 313-266-2811. So, excuse me. So yeah, when you truly tap into this, give it the energy that is needed. I don't think we give it the time.
That's right.
That it's needed because
or the energy.
Yeah, or the energy, because it's like everything's so like this on social media. It's like bam, bam, bam,
and
bam.
It's done that way, unfortunately, by design, intentionally, because your focus is so important that they made these phones to keep your head in it. Right?
Wow, yeah.
They want your attention. This guy just paid so many billions of dollars for your attention.
Billions.
That's the importance of your attention.
That was for Twitter.
That was for Twitter. So your attention is very important. So just imagine using it for yourself.
Have you seen that? What's that movie?
You asked me now.
I asked you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I forgot.
I know the movie. It was Denzel. What's his name? I know what you mean.
What is that movie?
I can't think of it.
Oh my goodness.
But I know exactly. A lot of people ask
I feel like finding somebody.
Yeah, I heard of it because so many people always ask me for years, have I watched that movie?
The Book of Eli.
Yeah.
The Book of Eli.
That's right.
And I bring that up. Frederick said this is so helpful in my life today. Awesome. Thank you.
Frederick.
I'm so glad this can be helpful for you. Amen. So the one thing that's the most powerful is our faith and our agreement. Our faith and our agreement.
That's right.
If you say something about me, and I'll be like, yeah, I felt that way too. That's an immediate agreement. Like, it's mixing up and it's happening. So I feel like with that movie, these people was looking for the Bible. They were searching for the Bible. If you have not watched this movie, The Book of Eli, that movie kind of went over my head, but I was just like, oh my God.
A lot of people didn't get it back then from what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Because it's been out for a minute.
Because they know, though, they know, right? And so they share with you secrets. What did the Bible say? As a man, what in his heart?
Thinketh.
As a man thinketh in his heart. So you think about it. His heart is his emotional factory. Yeah. So, right? So your heart is sending these vibrations through your body. And you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to match thoughts with feelings. So is he. So say a person didn't want to believe in the laws of attraction. It's actually, regardless of whether you believe it or not, it's how your brain and your body work. Right? It works that way anyway. Right. So when you lay those memories, when you lay those thoughts in your mind is the greatest waiter from the restaurant, your favorite restaurant. It's going to bring to you.
Serving.
Right. What you think about, what you put in it emotionally. That's how memories are laid in your brain.
Wow.
So it brings it to you on a platter.
Wow. What encouragement will you give those that are feeling hopeless, like their last mistake has shaped their world?
So, yeah, I mean, again, like I told you a minute ago, appreciate what you've been through, those hard times. You know, Joyce Myers, the Christian preacher, she said one time, she was molested. And she said she was molested by her father or her stepfather.
Yeah, I remember.
She said if she could do it all over again, that she would do it, right? She would go be molested again. Why? Because now she can help those out here who are going through it. Yeah. So I believe those hard times that you are going through, those things came to help you. And because we've been so bamboozled in this society, right? Yeah. We don't know who we are. We don't know how to live.
Right.
We just want to work a job and retire and,
and go find an island.
This crazy stuff that we've been taught how to live that has fell up from under our feet right now. But if we really look at it, those hard times are really gifts from God coming to develop you. Because he says after every hardships come relief, right? So the hardships come to develop you. So if you're going through some hardships, in which if you're not, something's wrong with you.
Really?
Something's wrong with you. If you don't have no hardships is the key to success.
That turbulence,
You got to have it.
That turbulence, it brings patience. It does produce. It definitely produces.
You go to the gym to work out, and you don't expect to be sore. You go to read and to study, and you don't expect to be tired, right? Even when you eat, you don't feel it, but your digestive system have to break that food down. There's a turbulence within inside of your stomach. So turbulence and hard times is a part of life. It's a part of growth. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So appreciate those hard times and just keep moving forward. Write you down a set of goals and say, like, listen, I'm going to take the time out to cry. I'm going to take the time out to feel this pain.
Definitely.
But, hey, at 5 o'clock, I need to be doing this, A, B, C. So even though you're going through the hard time, the bad relationship, low on funds, getting evicted, whatever it is, no car, hopelessness, never, ever, ever feel hopeless. My advice is to see yourself the way you want to be.
That's good.
In the future. And continue to wrap that image with an emotion. No matter what. Although you're broke, although you're in the hospital, you're sick, see yourself as well. Find somebody that's well, hold that picture in your mind, see that's as being you, and don't let go. So hey, you're gonna feel sad some days. Go back to that vision that you want to be, right? And let that pull you forward, no matter what.
That's good. That's real good. No matter what, definitely seeing yourself that way, it helps, and operating that way. Seeing it and operating in it.
Right. Right, you got to operate in.
Who was that one you told me? The Reverend Ike.
Reverend, my favorite.
Y'all go look at Reverend Ike on YouTube.
All right.
This from back in the day.
They say that Oprah Winfrey stole her style from Reverend Ike. They didn't like to give him credit. He was the first man to get, what do you call it when the church service is on the TV?
Telepastor? What's that? Telepastor?
Oh, no, I thought it was...
Whatever it is, when you see churches on TV and radio today, he was the first one to do it. He invented it. And people were against him, and he was before his times. But if you look in that crowd, when you go see him do sellout shows, sold out arenas, before Jay-Z was in Madison Square, he was selling out Madison Square.
Oh, wow.
And you'll see
because he had a powerful word.
He had a powerful word.
Putting it right back at, he was pointing right back at you to understand you and the words that was coming out of your mouth, what you were doing. But he made sure God was in it because that's how it was supposed to be. But nowadays, a lot of places are mixing God with them. With the Bible tells us don't glory in man. But now people are making themselves God. Like, look at me and bow down to me and, me. And then they mix a little God in there. So you be like, oh, okay, they talking about God. But, I think over time, people look at it like, you go back to that movie.
Right.
That man was looking for a Bible, the one book.
I wish I saw it. Wow.
The one book. He was sending goons out, killing people, going crazy just to get the Bible. And the man said, why out of every book you can get, we done brought you every book in the world. Why this book? He said, because with this book, I can control the people. And that's not what it's supposed to be about. The book is supposed to empower the people.
It's supposed to empower. Just imagine.
Period.
Just imagine. Imagine back then just how Reverend Ike was able to pull the jewels out of there. Yeah. Just imagine before people began to continue to translate.
Yeah.
Right? How visible those jewels were back then.
The world may never know.
Right.
The world may never know. We got to find them.
So I tell people that. I tell people, don't knock it. Just, respect God's books, and, get you some books and begin to learn the language in which it came in, right? And try to see what those meanings were back then, if possible.
Yeah, that's good. Just doing that, doing your due diligence.
Don't just sit down and depend on somebody else to tell you, interpretate for you.
Yeah. That's if I don't care what you believe, honestly.
That's right.
At this point,
right,
all of this is for us to have discipline.
Right.
You have all of these different religions. We can't keep arguing about whose is right. Let's just start there. Why are you here?
That's right.
What is the point? If this religion resonates with you, then go with it. If it's making you a better person, go with it.
Come on.
I am not interested. And I do not have conversations like this anymore while I'm trying to fight and argue with a person because of what they believe in. What are we doing?
Crazy. Something's happened so beautiful. So when I was in prison, the head of he was the superintendent, and he was the pastor of a major black church. He went down for white collar crime as well. And he used to come to my services. Now, this man was like Malcolm X in his speaking. He was good. I mean, so he used to come to my services, and I was like, wow. And he would be like, man, that was beautiful service that you gave. So then we used to go to his services as well. They said that before I came into that prison, these things had never, ever happened.
Wow.
And so you can come, you can take what's good for you, and the rest, you can leave it alone, right?
Yeah.
Take what's good for you, get you some benefit, leave the rest alone, because at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day,
all of it.
we all we come from Adam and Eve. We're all family, same blood, really.
Yeah, definitely. Right? We all started somewhere. And we were supposed to love each other.
Love each other and respect each other.
OMG, say it again.
Right.
How can you describe tapping into your power after situations seem to have defeated someone? Because, so this is going back, to what we were talking about. So people are feeling so defeated. And it's because I feel like we're paying too much attention to the outside world, the things that we can't control,
right,
the things that are out of our control. I had to learn after going through,
right,
like, all of this is because of what you're allowing, what you're not doing. Like, I put all of it back on me. I don't blame nobody. Yep, I don't blame anybody. Right. I'm like, at this point, it's on me. Anything that I allow to happen, anything that's happening in my world that I can control,
that's right,
and I don't like it, then that's on me.
That's right.
And so while we're closing up with our last 10 minutes, I want to talk about the inner negative narrative, that's happening. So in the past, we often associate and claim the behaviors of those around us, those people who raised us, saying things like, this is how I am, or we're running a family. And so we automatically, grab hold to whatever negative condemnation that is.
Right.
Whether they cussing people out or, they book, they this or they that. We pull out these negative things and we claim it. We hold on, we clench it. And you don't have to. And so this is the negative narrative, that I want to, encourage you guys with. So unfortunately, our thoughts will not always be positive. We have doubts, fears, we have second thoughts, and we have an inner critic that can cripple us.
Right.
And that right there will take you out. If you always in your head like, dang, I shouldn't did that. I did this. I did that. I did, and so you just beating yourself down.
The most valuable jewel that I can leave you today to anyone listening is that your thoughts are not your own. Those are not your thoughts. Your mind or your brain components is full of information that's, again, been downloaded from your ancestors, from what your mom taught. Those are not your thoughts. So you have to actually center yourself. When you hear those thoughts, remember, the brain is being a waiter. You are feeling like that, so it's bringing you this because you're feeling that way.
Right.
You have to move away from that and choose to manifest the thoughts that you want, right?
Yeah.
It's just bringing you thoughts. That's not you. You're not your thoughts, right? If you didn't have any thoughts, then you would be mentally ill. So you need thoughts. You need a thought to say, hey, make a left turn right here. Don't make a right turn. You need it. But if you're feeling some kind of way, you're going to have a negative thought because all these negative thoughts are going to come on you because your body is feeling negative. So it feels that's what you want. That's how powerful the mind and the body is. So in that situation and any time, you want to choose daily how you want to feel. And you're going to be so wore out and tired because you're going to war with your brain.
That is the truth, honey. you literally will be at war with yourself
But
and
it
go
will
home
pay.
and be
It will
like,
pay.
oh my God, what just happened? So some people be exhausted and you don't even know why. You're not working out, you ain't running.
Right.
But it's your mental that's
Yeah.
all day going and you trying to, well, that's for people who are actively fighting those thoughts too, because a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yes, you got to learn. You got a cell phone. Pick up that cell phone and say, "How can I use it for a purpose?" Say, "How can I center myself? How can I move away from my thoughts and choose the thoughts that I want to think and feel?" And there's so many videos and books out there that you can read and begin to practice a better way of living.
That's good. Buddha 838. It is important to have positive discourse with our children about being themselves, nurture their creativity. Yes. That's exactly what I'm on right now. I tell my son all the time, do you know who you are? And they just be lighting up. Tell my daughter today, girl, you the bomb.
That's right. That's right.
She say, why you say that? What I do? Everything you do, okay?
That's right. That's right.
So I agree with that. We definitely need to constantly reassure our children, that they are individuals and to push that creativity.
That's right.
But I do want to leave you here with a few things, ways to get back to it's just the beginning mindset. And this is not taken away from everything that you may think is bad in your past, but this is to say, you know what, today I'm going to start anew. I'm going to take what I've gotten from my past that rubbed me the wrong way or took me through, and I'm going to use it to say it's just the beginning. So recognizing and interrupting your thinking habits. A lot of times, our thinking habits are off. You thinking left-sided, you thinking negative, you go straight to the negative. I know a lot of times we do. A lot of times I had to check myself like, hold on, wait a minute. Where you get that from? Rephrasing your habitual thoughts. So what is your favorite saying? The other day I was at the bowling alley, he and one of our people in there, every time you say, hey, how you doing? Hanging in there, and he like, what you doing? Oh, just making it. His little sayings, these are those habitual thoughts and those phrases that we keep saying, and it literally shapes your world. And so every time you see somebody when they like hanging, I'm here, I'm this, so change those thoughts, those little small phrases and sayings. Those things shape your reality as well. Exposure to positive books, videos, and thinking all together. That's something I want to let you know. This is getting you back to that mindset that it's just the beginning mindset. It don't matter what happened. Yeah, I fell down, I got back up. It's just the beginning. That's not to negate what happened. We not taking away from our past because it helps us in the future. But the last thing I want to talk about, creating your own rules and permission. A lot of times we have to take our life back. We have been misled in a lot of areas. We are overly influenced and stimulated. So you have to take your life back and create your own rules. That's not to take away from your foundation or your spirituality or whatever it is that you believe. But this is saying, what is it that I want to see? What is it that my Holy Spirit has told me that I'm supposed to be doing at this time in this season in my life? And so it's good to get back to those things. We have to train our mind to get back to those thoughts. So, while we're just looking forward to something great, it's just the beginning. Being patient and kind is just the beginning. Distancing yourself from something that's not conducive to your growth is just the beginning. Allowing room for improvement is just the beginning. Give yourself permission to be who you want to be and do the things that you want to do despite your emotional and cultural conditioning. A lot of times we are bringing on baggage from our past, from how we were raised, from these different things, but you're a totally different person right now. You're a totally different individual. Your life has shaped you to something totally different. So I want you to take this time to really rewrite your story so that you can turn it into your just beginning. Use your empowerment to empower yourself and others. Once you get free and creative with how you speak and creative with your reality, you will see things flourish in your life. Enjoying this journey and encouraging you to do the same with this new beginning. And so I want to thank you so much, Khalil, for joining me this evening.
Thank you.
I thank you for those jewels. They definitely are out here.
Thank you.
What's her name? Shay. She says, so you would say to start by reading about neuroscience, how your brain works?
Yes.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yes.
I see you, Rod. I see you on here.
Ask it specific questions. Whatever's going on with you, ask your Google, what does the neuroscience say about me feeling tired in the morning? What does the brain scientist say about that? And look at many different things that you find on there.
That's good. Buddha 838 is Lee. That's who that is. Lee, by the way. Okay, hi, Lee. Thank you so much. Thank you for your input. I thank you guys for joining us this evening. It has been a pleasure. Guess what? Next week we will be here same time, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Don't be late. Guess what? I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.